Welcome, Dolphins fans, haters, and everyone in between to your favorite show, discussing the greatest franchise in sports, the Miami Dolphins. This is the PhinsPod. My name is Moose, your host, and we've talked a lot about a few prospects over the last couple of weeks, specifically Ja'Marr Chase and Kyle Pitts. So today, we're going to look at other options, guys who are equally viable contenders to be selected by the Fins later this month. What happens if teams in front of Miami do decide to take skill guys, leaving the Dolphins with fewer options than they initially thought that they may have had? We're going to talk about some of those guys left at the table in case that goes down. Let's dive in.
Tua Tagovailoa, play fake, Tua loads it, goes deep for Waddle, got it in stride. Waddle down the sideline, you can forget about it. Touchdown, Alabama. Come on. Looks that way, wants to go deep, and will. Waddle has got it on the run, and he's gone. Jaylen Waddle. Touchdown.
So before we jump into these other guys, I want to sort of explain why we've been a little Kyle Pitts and Ja'Marr Chase centric over the last few episodes. And really, it boils down to one thing: elite traits, and elite physical traits specifically. Kyle Pitts is just, in terms of an athlete, at the tight end position that frankly no one has ever seen before. And I'm not just saying he's going to be elite out the gate. We don't know that if he's going to be elite at the NFL level, but the man possesses physical tools that really just can't be denied. And since testing began in the NFL, like since they started measuring stuff and sort of, you know, the underwear Olympics that we see at the combines every year, ever since that started, Kyle Pitts has the longest wingspan at the position ever. And tight ends are literally known for, you know, having big wingspans, so their catch radius can be as big as possible. Kyle Pitts has the biggest ever. So the tape doesn't look shabby either with him. The NFL is a far more positionless league than ever before, so having Kyle Pitts listed as a tight end isn't as big of a deal. It's not going to make opposing defenses feel any better about the fact that they have to cover him. So I think the fact that he's labeled as a tight end has really kind of lessened his value, because I think if he was just listed as a wide receiver, people would probably be talking about him as that number one option. So that's why I think I've talked about him that highly. Again, please feel free to discuss if you're watching on YouTube in the comments below what you think of Kyle Pitts, if he is that man. And Ja'Marr Chase, look, when we last saw him on the field, he was looking like someone who could face any type of corner, whether it be a speed sort of corner or a press jammer, any corner at all, and just figure out a way to beat him, either with elite physical tools and explosiveness, his strength. His upper body strength is crazy for his size, and his monster hands, which will just pry the ball away at the, you know, the point of attack for you know, jump balls or just regular, you know, balls where it's a 50-50 shot between him and a corner. Chase is going to win it every time. And if Burrow vouches for him, then I think Tua is going to be fine having him as well. But recent information has suggested that there actually is a chance that neither of these two aforementioned options, Kyle Pitts or Ja'Marr Chase, will even be available to Miami when they come on the clock. And the way that would likely end up shaking out, it is pretty straightforward. It is nightmare fuel to think about, but it is straightforward. It's 1, the Jags take Trevor Lawrence. Number 2, the Jets take Zach Wilson or whatever other quarterback they want to take. 3, the 49ers also take their quarterback. And at 4, the Falcons really start messing shit up when they take Kyle Pitts to pair with Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, and oh yeah, Julio Jones. That wouldn't be bad, and they immediately could actually be pretty good. Depends on how Arthur Smith does in his first year down in Atlanta. The Bengals decided to reunite their franchise quarterback with their favorite weapon at LSU then, and then they draft Ja'Marr Chase. He goes off the board at 5, and now the Dolphins are sitting there at 6. So look, realistically, there are really 2 answers here, and neither of them are bad answers at all. I can already hear some of you screaming, typing away, "Excuse me, DeVonta Smith." And yes, that's who I would think the Dolphins take in this situation. Maybe they would take him regardless. We're going to find out. But again, I've already explained why I have Chase and Pitts above. So if they're gone, I would see the Dolphins taking Smith. And grabbing the Heisman winner is not a bad consolation prize whatsoever. Hell, like I said, he could very well, by the end of all their careers, be the best player in the entire class. DeVonta Smith is the smoothest route runner in this class. He finds a way to get open and has shown a football savvy that, frankly, not a ton of receivers have coming right out of college, especially for his size. I think he's always sort of had to play knowing that he's going to have to outsmart defenders, maybe because he couldn't outmuscle them when he was younger, but he plays with this savvy that is way beyond his years. So his build is slight. That's really the only knock. And it's really my main concern with him. It's just at the next level, when you're playing corners who are so much stronger than what you faced in college, is it going to hold up? Are you going to be the same player? But he is strong at the point of attack, regardless of his thin frame. He does have sticky hands. It's not like corners are knocking balls away left and right from him. He's got really long reach, good athleticism, and the ability to adjust to the ball in the air. He's very acrobatic in the air and is able to make some spectacular catches. And he's got that built-in chemistry with Tua Tagovailoa. All great things. And it's the reason why I feel like it would make sense that they would go with DeVonta Smith at that point if the board fell this way. And look, you hope that if over time he fills out that frame a little bit, just so his body can take the rigors of now a full 17-game NFL season, getting banged by grown men week in and week out at a different clip and a different force than in the SEC. His comparison, his comp, a lot of people sort of say, look, Marvin Harrison. I think that's really related to his physical stature, but also play style. They kind of are similar in how they got open and used, just their football IQ and understanding of leverage and the defensive zones, whether they were playing zone or man, and what they needed to do depending on the route, where they needed to sit. It's sort of a very heady receiver. That's sort of his comp. And that's great. A guy who can create magic with a heady quarterback as well. Remember who Harrison had as his quarterback? That was prime Peyton Manning. So I could see the Dolphins kind of trying to create their own Manning-Harrison combo down here in Miami with Smith if they do go in that direction. Unlike Ja'Marr Chase, however, I do think he would begin his time in Miami in the slot. I think Chase could likely start right on the outside from day one, and they can kind of utilize some of the other receivers in the slot. Chase himself can also go there, but DeVonta Smith, I think at the start, because of his smaller frame, they might want to ease him in. I think he'd be great in the slot. The Dolphins coaches would be smarter to try to get him the ball in space, let him do what he does best and ease him in so he can comfortably transition to the outside later on in his career where he can hopefully dominate for you. And like I said, Chase already kind of has that body type and skill set to outmuscle NFL corners day one and NFL safeties, in my opinion. So for that reason, I think he'll be able to start on the outside from jump. But hey, I could be over-doubting him right now. And look, I have the right to change my mind, of course, as we dive a little bit deeper in the coming weeks. We'll have a discussion about it. Right now, this is where I stand. Let me know if you disagree. The guy who I would actually love the Dolphins to take if the board did end up falling the way we're projecting, it's not DeVonta Smith. It's actually Penei Sewell. Him falling to 6 would be great, and his addition would improve this offense immediately. Whether the coaches leave Austin Jackson over at left tackle and put Sewell onto his blind side, or if they want to keep Penei at his natural position, frankly, it doesn't matter. He's a monster. He is the type of offensive lineman who will just elevate the play of the other linemen because they got a monster next to him. Everyone's confidence is going up. Hell, they could put him in at guard and start him off like the Dolphins did with Laramie Tunsil. Sewell's powerful. He's a freak athlete for his size. And look, the fact that he's only getting stronger is insane. You could run right behind him with a pulling guard, and your outside zone run game is bumping up a few notches. Good luck to those strong side linebackers in that case. He would be a menace in the screen game too. God, with that athleticism, that speed, overall, Tua is just going to be protected much better by drafting Penei Sewell if he were to fall. And I just don't think he will for this reason. He is that good. And the Dolphins, if they do get Sewell, are going to get a ton more flexibility too along the rest of their line. Yes, it might bump out a player that you projected to start, but that's a good problem at this point. You want to improve the offensive line as much as possible. Sewell's not like any of these other kind of classic linemen, top 10, top 15 linemen. He is that dude, like Zach Martin, Quentin Nelson type dude. Penei Sewell is right there. And don't worry, The Dolphins still have one other first-round pick, too, at 18, where they could find that weapon. I know a lot of you guys want Najee Harris. We're going to get to that. I'm not a big fan of running backs in round 1, but you can get a weapon there and, sort of appease some of those concerns. Maybe get a Rashad Bateman, something like that. You never know. They could get lucky and someone could fall to them. Perhaps maybe this guy falls to 18, but I don't think he will. And the next guy that I would love to see the Dolphins take would be Jaylen Waddle. If Kyle Pitts and Ja'Marr Chase are off the table and the Dolphins go with Jaylen Waddle, I think it points to something specific. Because from a skill set perspective, Jaylen Waddle fits what the Dolphins actually need right now. Like, he's actually the perfect fit. And I feel like people kind of know that. I feel like that's been discussed in NFL circles. I don't think I'm breaking anything new. But I don't think the Dolphins should draft for need. They should be drafting the best player, overall player available to improve the entire team. And that's the reason I have Smith and Chase above him. But it's not by a lot. Look, Waddle is by far the fastest receiver of the bunch, and he can take the top off the defense, not just by going deep, running a 9 route straight down the field. You can throw a short screen or a crosser and watch him waddle all the way down the field. Oh, God. That's probably the only reason I would want to draft him, is to say that every time he scores a touchdown. Look, he can be utilized on the outside or in the slot, and he too has strong hands, which you don't need to worry about. He is coming off an injury, so he's going to be he's a little more limited as an athlete in terms of his ceiling, in terms of Ja'Marr Chase with strength. I mean, his speed is crazy fast, but I think he's more of a speed receiver. That's what Jaylen Waddle is going to be for you, while Ja'Marr Chase and DeVonta Smith, in my opinion, can kind of be that real, true wide receiver one. But again, that could be totally wrong if Waddle's able to refine his route running and become more of a technician at that next level. And true, he does have wild chemistry with Tua, so that's not really a concern, regarding if he can come in and immediately fit in with the offense. But really, these are all the guys, these last 3 guys we've touched on, DeVonta Smith, Penei Sewell, and now Jaylen Waddle, aside from Pitts and Chase, that I would consider. And I'm curious, do you guys agree? Is this a list that you agree with, or are there players I'm missing? I know there's Micah Parsons, Surtain, there's some other guys that maybe you feel the Dolphins should consider at 6. But remember, the Dolphins went from 3 back to 12. They had 2 first-round picks at that point in time. They then made a deal with the Eagles. They gave up a decent amount of capital, a future first, and swapping pretty much a full round, swapping with the Eagles later in the 4th round from the top of the 4th all the way back down to the bottom, just to move up to 6, which again points that they're trying to get someone specific. So based on our list, just to recap, these are the 6 guys, or actually, how many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I believe 5 guys that I want the Dolphins to take. And the beauty is that they're going to get their hands on at least their options, a few of them, because 3-4 quarterbacks are going to be taken. So in no particular order, Miami is going to be able to get their hands at number 6. DeVonta Smith, Ja'Marr Chase, Penei Sewell, Jaylen Waddle, and of course, Kyle Pitts. Let me know if you think I'm forgetting someone, if there's someone I'm overrating, someone who you feel doesn't fit. You could say, hey, look, man, I don't even think Jaylen Waddle belongs in this list. I don't think he's in the same class. Or, look, as much as I think Penei Sewell is a stud, I think Miami is required to take a pass catcher or a weapon for Tua. So throw out Penei Sewell off the list. I don't even care if he's there. Take the best available weapon. Let me know what you guys think. Because, again, that's kind of the beauty of being where we are right now. The Dolphins at this point in, not really in the rebuild. Now they're sort of gearing up to make a push to actually compete. They can pick the type of style of player, the style of flair offensively or defensively they want to have. These are now the sexy positions that we're drafting. We're not drafting Christian Wilkins. Look, I love Christian Wilkins. Defensive tackle in the 1st round. You need it. It's a great character guy, great foundation piece for your culture on defense, a great identity piece. But come on, that's not sexy. You want to get to Ja'Marr Chase, DeVonta Smith. You want to get a Kyle Pitts. That's where all the fun is. So let me know, who do you guys think the Dolphins should take at number 6?
Tua Tagovailoa gets a ringing endorsement from the Dolphins that he will be the full-time starter next year. Here's our Dominique Foxworth yesterday on this program on what Tua faces this season.
the pressure is going to go up on him because they have a great tight end in Gesicki. They're going to add another weapon. They're going to bolster that offensive line. This is going to be a pretty loaded roster, so he better ball out this year because there's going to be no more excuses, and they'll still have the capital to move up in the draft the following season. So I think this is a make or break year for Tua, but the good news is he has all the tools to get it done.
Make or break year for Tua Tagovailoa is a fascinating way to look at someone who has played this little. Dan Graziano, why are you making that face? You look skeptical of that idea.
Very un-Dominique take. I mean, to come out and put this much pressure on a player. Usually Dominique is on the player's side here. I mean, I don't see it as make or break. I think it could make him, but I definitely don't think it can break Tua Tagovailoa in Miami if he doesn't have a great year this year.
It's an interesting way of looking at it because while I understand it feels a tad premature, Marcus, I kind of agree with what Dominique said, which is this is a team that I think is thinking championship thoughts right now. And if the quarterback isn't ready to get it done, in the NFL today, we move on pretty quick. So, what do you think?
I think you and Foxy out of y'all damn mind. That's what I think. The dude that plays 6 games, 7
My
games,
guy.
and split time with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like the dude literally has not had a chance to even show you if he can be a top tier quarterback. He showed flashes. He had trouble like most rookies have in the NFL. This is not a make or break year for Tua. If he was coming out in this draft, he'd be the second quarterback off the board based on how we looked at him coming out of college. So okay, I'm with it. I get it. Everybody want to get rid of the quarterbacks. I understand it. I'm a quarterback. I'm a get rid of a quarterback when I don't think he's good either. But this dude has literally not played half of an NFL season, and he's going into this one, and we saying this a make or break. That's a little bit too fast.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the PhinsPod. That's going to do it for us here today on this Monday. Hope you enjoyed it and got a great start to your week. If you want more of the show, you can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/PhinsPod. For $2 a month, you can listen to bonus episodes, and there's some other goodies over there as well. Patreon.com/PhinsPod. Check it out. Thank you all so much for the support over there. Please remember to like the video if you enjoyed the show and you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening, subscribe just wherever it is you're listening to, just so you never miss a chance to chat about your Miami Dolphins. Remember that the pod is available on all platforms: Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and of course YouTube. Just search PhinsPod with a PH and continue the conversation with us over on Twitter and Instagram @PhinsPod. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And until next time, stay safe. Love y'all.